Hello, welcome to Heretic Theater. I'm Grant.
And no one cared who I was until I put on the mask. Guess what movie we're doing today?
The Dark Knight Rises.
Now, I have to say, Grant, out of all the 3 Batman movies we've done so far, I think this is the one you were most excited to do.
No, not exactly. From memory, this movie is like probably Nolan's worst movie, and I think it's definitely the worst written film of Chris Nolan's. And I have a strange feeling that my rating is going to go down from what it was the last time I watched it. What about you, Zach?
Okay, so this was the only Dark Knight film I have not seen in theaters. I was going to, but then I got in trouble with my dad, long story short. And so this movie's kind of jinxed for me, I guess. And then I've only really seen the movie fully one time. That was about a year later when we got it on DVD. And I don't think I've seen the movie fully since then. And even though I remember the plot fine, I don't remember any strong emotional attachment to this film the same way I had with any other of the Batman films. I mean, I'm going to be honest, Grant. I think I have a stronger emotional tie to Batman and Robin than I do to this movie.
That makes sense, because this movie, while not as bad as Batman and Robin, the consistency in the writing is probably just as bad, because Batman and Robin doesn't have as much to lose as this movie does.
Alright. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm sure we have plenty to say during this 2 hour and 45 minute film. Yeah. Jesus Christ.
Alright, I'm going to hit play in 3, 2, 1, play.
Okay, and just in case you're wondering, Grant and I brought food with us today because we're not watching this movie without something to eat. So if you hear any strange sounds, don't worry, I just have my dick in my mouth.
Oh, bro. So obviously it's the usual logo like it has been for the last 2 movies.
Yeah, nothing to talk about here. So do we want to get into the Dark Knight Rises movie we got versus the one that was originally planned, but then obviously Heath Ledger passed away. So
we can talk about that as it goes on. I want to start with this opening here.
Okay.
Because
I didn't know this movie had Mr. Freeze in it.
I like the cracking glass or whatever.
I thought it looked like ice.
But to start, this flashback thing right here, I don't understand the point of this at all, because thinking about what happens later on in the movie, there was no point to that scene. They could have just started with this open field and nothing would have changed.
Yeah, let me back up. Obviously, this is the longest out of the 3 Dark Knight films.
There's lots of stuff they could have cut
I
out.
was going to say, do you think this movie should have had a second glance during the editing?
Yep, definitely.
Friends, have you met this guy?
Mm-hmm. So they don't actually explain, how the CIA is connected and everything. It's what is this? They don't really explain how Bane got there, or how any of these people are connected.
Or, where the hell Bane was during the events of the first film? Because presumably Bane is at least tied to the League of Shadows in this continuity, right?
He is.
But they don't... Do they ever explain why Bane wasn't with them during Ra's al Ghul's first attack?
He said Ra's al Ghul cast him out, which makes even less sense, because it makes no sense why he or his daughter, which we later find out, want to do this to begin with.
Did they explain why they wanted to cast him out?
They say she said some bullshit like, he only saw a monster inside him. But we'll get to that. We need to focus on this scene.
All right. Oh, there's is it Tom Hardy?
Yeah.
With
the voice is really bad. The sound editing is terrible in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many memeable lines in this movie.
Oh yeah, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to have a bad case of Spider-Man 2 syndrome here because every time Bane's going to speak, I'm going to try not to laugh my ass off.
Yeah.
It will be extremely painful. Dear God. I will say,
he's like the narrator.
Yeah.
He's like not even a character in the movie anymore.
I will say, I do think the prop, the mask itself, looks cool. It's just that stupid voice filter. Yeah. I get what they were going for. They were going for like the Darth Vader effect, but it doesn't quite work in this case.
Yeah, I agree.
So what's going on here?
That's a good question.
You don't know?
Like, no,
you're the expert on these movies.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, like, they don't actually explain the connection between Bane and the CIA or how they kidnapped him or why they were interested or what led up to this plane scene at all in this movie. The whole reason why they say Bane was on there is that apparently he intentionally wanted them to kidnap him so that they could fake this scientist's death so people thought he was dead. So that way he could secretly make the bomb.
The nuke, right?
Yeah. But the thing with this whole bullshit is they explore the plane. So how the fuck do they... If the guy isn't there, how the fuck do they not know that he's still alive? Because it's just like... He's not in there inside the plane, so that's pretty suspicious.
Right. It's movie 101. If there's not a dead body, they're not dead.
Yeah.
And sometimes, even if there is a body, they're probably going to come back anyways.
Right. And they use this guy. They, like, transfer his blood inside of him. It's like, that's not... I mean, I'm not a doctor or anything, but...
They don't look anything alike.
They don't look anything alike, and he's transferring his blood, but just a little bit of it, so I don't think that's how it works.
Yeah, Look, man, I am at least glad that this version of Bane is trying to be more faithful to the comic book version of Bane, which isn't saying much considering the only other movie appearance Bane has had is Batman and Robin, and we don't like to talk about that. They try to play off his intelligence as well as his strength, because Bane is not just some mindless brute. He's also supposed to be one of Batman's more intelligent villains. But his plan makes no fucking sense.
Yeah, and we'll get into that more as the movie progresses. This whole thing right here, too, I also don't like this because it shows, like, Gotham is peaceful now. And, you know, there's the criminals who were freed from Arkham are now back in prison. Conveniently, and it's just, you know, it's peace times right now. But I mean, like, sure, they have events like this where it's like, you know, Harvey Dent, you know, he changed a lot and had a huge effect on Gotham, but later on in the movie, there's, like, almost zero effect that The Dark Knight has on this movie.
Yeah, in fact, don't you feel like that the outcome of Dark Knight, the effect should have been the reverse? I mean, maybe less crime specifically, but shouldn't a lot more people be on edge considering that the Joker terrorize the entire city. Harvey Dent, the White Knight of Gotham, is fucking dead. Like, obviously they don't know about the Two-Face stuff, but still, he's fucking dead. I feel like there should at least be a little more unrest going on, not just, everything's hunky-dory.
Really, yeah, there shouldn't have been a huge time jump,
Yeah.
I feel.
And plus, it's fucking Gotham City. It doesn't matter what good people do to the city to make it better. There's always going to be some kind of shit going on.
But also, they effectively go back on the Dark Knight stuff because this is basically just like a sequel to Batman Begins. Because, it's Bane
more
who's
focuses
connected
on the League of
to
Shadows stuff.
Right.
It's funny how often you see that in movie trilogies, where the third movie is more of a sequel to the first one than the middle movie.
Yeah, it's weird.
Maybe this is a little too early, but do you think, the shot composition is a bit lower than it was in Dark Knight? Like, a lot less interesting shots with the camera used? Do you think?
Yeah, I do. Oh yeah, this whole part with Catwoman. She's not necessary to this movie at all. She basically just has her own side story going on,
Well, because she and Bruce have to get together because they need the happily ever after ending because this is the last movie. Even though that kind of goes against everything they established. Not only Dark Knight, but in Batman Begins too. Because Batman Begins, well, it was a good ending. It wasn't fully happy. There's still stuff to do. There's still plenty of criminals to arrest. And remember, Batman's house burned down. He rebuilds it, obviously, but it still burned down. Shit still happened.
Mm-hmm. And Ra's al Ghul's daughter, this whole
Talia
that happens at the end is so dumb.
It's like...
The problem is, immediately at the beginning, they're starting too many new characters and too many different plots. It's like they're trying to shove way too much into one movie, just like films like Spider-Man 3 do.
Spider-Man 3, Amazing Spider-Man 2, Hobbit 2 and 3.
And this whole thing about the mayor, they said, they're gonna fire Jim Gordon, they're gonna dump him later, and it's like, wait, but he's a hero. It's like, yeah, he's a war hero, and we're in peacetime now. But it's just like, that whole plot is just relegated to that one line, and then it goes literally nowhere.
There's a lot cut from this movie, I imagine.
Yeah.
No, just real quick, rant, and we go into more later, but obviously, I know there's a lot of issues that Christopher Nolan had with the death of Heath Ledger, and just that alone limits all the stuff he could have done, because I'm assuming he wanted to do Joker for the next movie.
Yeah, it's obvious with this movie that that's what he wanted to do.
How much was there a whole lot of studio meddling with this film? I'm sure there is, but I've never heard anything about that.
I think Nolan had to just come up with this bullshit story on his own because he didn't know what to do because he couldn't use Joker again. Which is what he wanted to do.
Before you say anything, no, they cannot have recasted Heath Ledger because no one can replace Heath Ledger.
Right.
You just can't.
Yeah. And he knew that would be so disrespectful,
Oh yeah, we're in how long the movie, and here's your introduction to Bruce Wayne. He's not doing too good after Dark Knight, both physically and mentally.
Yeah.
And then she falls and kills herself.
Yeah, it's like, how did she jump from that high and survive.
She's not wearing any like special gadgets or anything. She's just wearing rather regular clothing.
What did she do?
Like, if this was a more traditional superhero movie, I wouldn't think anything of it. But because Dark Knight has always been very grounded in its approach to the Batman mythos, that scene made no fucking sense.
Yeah. And I feel like this is kind of a flimsy way of getting him to start being more interested in being Batman again. Just that Catwoman stole his fingerprints. It's like, okay.
I mean, I guess he's worried that someone's going to use it to find out he's Batman. But as we saw in Dark Knight, which I'm sure... Oh, hey, Robin. As I'm sure we're going to see this a lot, as established in Dark Knight, when that one dude found out that Bruce Wayne was Batman, he didn't do anything. Why? Because if you try to mess with the identity of Batman, Batman's going to go and kick your ass. Which is why Lucius wasn't worried in the slightest. So why should we be worried now?
Yeah.
What do you think about their attempt at Robin in this movie?
It's not needed. I hate it. It's
right. I mean, it's stupid regardless, but maybe if they were trying to set up like a Robin spin-off in this universe, MCU style, I could sort of see that from like a production standpoint, but that doesn't exist. That movie doesn't exist and it probably never will, so what was the fucking point?
Yeah. Yeah, and you didn't need to make it a movie where Batman finds a successor. You could have just had him die. Because that whole thing with him surviving the explosion is dumb.
It's stupid from both a thematic standpoint and just logic. Like, I know he's Batman, but I don't think Batman can survive dying next to a nuclear explosion.
They rebuilt the house, but if he's not Batman anymore, why is the Batcave still a thing?
Like, shouldn't it just be like a hole in the ground?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, what's the point? He didn't even use this Batcave in the second movie. He used that other place.
And after the second movie, he stopped being Batman, so why is it built again?
Maybe if it was like a glorified, well, forgive the pun, man cave, that'd be one thing. But no, he still has like a whole, like, criminal computer and shit. It's like, why do you still have this? You retired. Yeah. Batman is now an assumed criminal. So, what's the point?
Also, can I just say this opening?
No, you can't say.
These first 40 minutes are almost all exposition, and it all feels like forced exposition. Like this scene in particular. It's just exposition and setup for later.
Okay. We have to talk about something, even if it's bullshit, because this is a long-ass movie. You could have a whole bunch of dead air.
I know. It's just...
There's not a lot to talk about in this first 40 minutes, and I know, but we gotta find a way to fill it up. How's your pizza, Grant?
We don't know what to talk about. That's like a huge problem, though. It's like almost nothing is accomplished. Like... It's 2 hours and 45 minutes, but there's so little done in terms of character and story. And really, this movie is kind of proof that, like, even if, like unless Nolan could have done his full vision with the Joker, then there shouldn't have been a sequel, and Dark Knight should have just been the ending.
Was there ever, like, sorry, I got my dick in my mouth right here. I will not stop. This is my damn show. Anyways, was there ever a rumored like rough draft of Nolan's original vision for this movie or anything like that?
No, I don't think he ever got to start on it because...
Right. Well, first of all, he did like work on Inception before this, right? He did take a break from Batman for a few years, so he could do something more original.
He was contractually obligated to do Dark Knight Rises, but he told Warner Brothers he had to make Inception first.
Right, because you don't want...
And this begins the whole... This part here kind of begins the main bulk of the story. Here, like, this side plot with the children of, like, the orphans of Gotham, it's like, I get how Robin's connected to them. And basically, the only reason they spend this time on the orphan storyline is so at the end, they can have that payoff of, like, you know... In Bruce Wayne's will, he's giving Wayne Manor to the orphan kids for their housing or whatever.
That is a Bruce Wayne thing to do.
Yeah. It just feels like fluff. And
it could have just been cut out from the movie.
Right.
I have to wonder, though, if they actually went into this movie and cut out all the shit that doesn't belong, do you think the movie would make an hour? like how much fluff to meat ratio do you think is in this movie?
I think maybe there's about 40 minutes of fluff and bullshit, and 2 hours of it is like the main movie.
Okay, so it's not all bullshit like the Hobbit movies, but
yeah, it's not all bullshit.
Yeah. It's not the worst. But even
movie but the thing is, with this fluff, a lot of the main meat of this movie, they don't have time to properly develop it. I would have rather had a 2 hour and 45-minute movie that's focused entirely on Batman and Bane stuff.
Because that's should have been what the movie was about.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, honestly, you know what I think it's really stupid? The fact that they tried to tie Bane to the League of Shadows. Because, A, that's not a thing in the comic books. Sure, it may have happened.
Bane should have just been his own thing.
Yeah, I don't like they try to do that so they can have the surprise twist at the end and tie it back to the first movie, but it's just not necessary. Bane is an interesting Batman villain in his own right, both interesting and underutilized. And to this day, he is still underutilized when it comes to Batman films.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm not sure what they could have done with the Bane-only movie, because I'm not that familiar with this character or any, like, stories Bane is in besides the one he breaks Batman's back. Because every time Bane has to show up in anything, they have to reference him breaking Batman's back. Yeah. Jesus Christ, people, get over it. It was the 90s. Give Bane something new to do. Like imagine, like Lazar, do you know how much stuff, Heath Ledger's Joker had an impact on Joker and other stuff, like the comic books? Making him more darker, more crazy, more chaotic. A lot of that had to do with Heath Ledger's performance in this film. And they could have done similar with Bane, where they did something with this character that's interesting that could have affected how he's presented to other media years to come, but they don't.
Yeah.
And I know they don't, and because to this day they're still referencing him breaking Batman's back, and nothing else!
Yeah, exactly. And even this right here, like this whole action set piece with Catwoman, it's like, it's not needed. It's just fluff.
I mean,
her entire character, like, I mean, her storyline's fine. There's nothing wrong with her storyline per se. It's a fine character arc and whatever, but it just doesn't fit in this story, you know?
It feels like that Nolan had, like, 3, maybe 4 different movie ideas for what he could have done for the last in the trilogy, but he never picked one and dedicated the movie to it. He started filming all of them at once, and he's like, well, I gotta make a movie. Just edit it all together and try to make it make sense.
Yeah. And also, you realize by the end of this movie, like, everything with the Dark Knight in the ending almost has, like, no effect at all. And see, like, this stuff here with Bane, this is where they finally, get to meet Bane and everything. But it's like, instead of including Catwoman to tie Bane into the story, it's like, why not just have Bane lure them in by doing something? You could have just done that. You don't need Catwoman to lure, to be the thing that causes them to look down in the pits. And also, there was just a sniper on the roof, so why is, they don't, what got them to want to go down in there? What made them think that's where he went? I mean, it didn't show him or anything going down into the sewers.
God,
So,
we're not even an hour in yet. We're struggling to find things to talk about.
I'm not. I'm struggling to find things to say that are good about it.
Right. No, I think what your deal is that you don't want to blurt it all out in the beginning of the movie. You're trying to save it for when it comes up.
I don't want to talk about stuff out of order either. Yeah.
But I am the one that's struggling to find things to talk about because, God, there's nothing interesting about this first chunk of the movie.
Yeah.
I have nothing to say about the characters, new or old. Nothing about the scene setup. Nothing about the way the movie's shot. A lot of this movie just feels disinterested.
Well, yeah, Nolan clearly, he didn't want to make this movie. It's obvious, just from these first 40 minutes alone. And this part is fine, because it's, getting everyone aware that Bane is here. But everything surrounding that was bullshit. His voice, too, is so funny.
Is that actually Tom Hardy speaking?
Yeah, but it's dubbed in a weird way.
Yeah, obviously they have to dub over it in post so they can actually hear what's going on. So it's not just in the movie. Because otherwise, no, not even that. It would just because you wouldn't hear anything. During filming, you wouldn't able to hear. People do it all the time. That's what they did with Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Anytime when people got shit on their face, they'll just have the guy voice over it in post. Could they not have gotten a more menacing voice? Tom Hardy sounds more scared, more intimidating naturally. I don't like this. It's not even just the filter. It's the weird, overly British, Bond-esque kind of voice that, for some reason, he chose to do, and it's just silly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the voice does not make him sound intimidating at all. Also, what was the point of that?
To show that he's the bad guy.
Yeah, it's he shoots his own dude in the foot to follow Gordon. It's but nothing's accomplished by that. And I'm fine with a character like this being in the movie if they want Gordon to, be out of it for a little bit. But the whole orphan kid subplot, along with him being Robin in the end, is just fluff as well.
It's sequel bait to a sequel that's never going to get made, so what's even the point?
Right. And this scene right here, too, this was really dumb as well. It's he just knows Bruce Wayne is Batman because he, felt it.
You had a feeling, Grant. You had a feeling!
I have a feeling.
As we establish in Rise of Skywalker, all you need is a feeling, and you know everything that's going to go on in the plot.
Oh my gosh.
It's magic. We don't have to explain it. That's a rant for another day.
Yeah. And I understand they're making the connection between Bruce and him, how they, had no parents. And both of them were orphans. I get that. I get the message and the point of both the connection between him and Robin as well as the orphan kids. I get it. It just doesn't, once again, it does not fit.
Yeah. It's
like just because he was an orphan too, so he just knows that he's Batman, just because he would like to be Batman, I guess.
Yeah, but here's the other thing about that. Obviously, the Robin stuff shouldn't have been in this movie, but if they had to have done it, they kind of shot themselves in the foot by making obviously he's not Dick Grayson, I don't think, but
they'll never say. No, his real name's Robin.
Yeah, so you're using your real name to fight crime. Way to be subtle there, pal. But anyways, they shot themselves in the foot by making this version of Robin an adult to begin with, because the whole reason why Batman and Robin have such an interesting relationship isn't just because they were both orphans. They were both orphaned, but the reason Bruce Wayne took Dick Grayson in was so he wouldn't become Batman Part 2.
Yeah.
So he brought him in and to try to keep joy in his life, to get that sense of closure by bringing in the people who killed his parents, so his life wouldn't be dictated by vengeance and the dark code and shit that Batman's life is. That's what makes your dynamic interesting. But you can't have that because this version of Robin's already a full-grown adult. He already knows the differences between justice and revenge, and the dude's a fucking cop. So,
and what did Bruce think was going to happen if he stopped working? He acts surprised that, places are starting to get defunded or whatever, but it's you're not working. Your company's going to go under.
What do you think was going to happen? You stopped working.
I guess that he stops being Batman, but why did he need to be a hermit? Why do you need to not work anymore? Running his company and everything?
I mean, I know he's depressed because of Rachel's death.
But 8 fucking years?
Really? That's a long time?
Yeah, it's 8 fucking years. That's what they said. I get being upset about Rachel, but 8 years?
Okay.
That's stupid.
So,
I'm sorry.
No, that is absolutely stupid. So remember that nitpick I had in Batman Begins when I thought they should have made Alfred look a little younger during the young Bruce flashback?
Yeah.
This is that up to an 11. Because 8 fucking years and they look the fucking same.
Yeah.
Sorry, this is the thing that bugs me in movies that have large time skips, but all of the characters look like it's only been a week since the events of the last movie. It's 8 goddamn years, and all they do to show Bruce's age is give him a goatee. It's that's it?
Yeah.
Also, that would not have held his weight. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that was really dangerous.
Unnecessarily dangerous. That's... Why can't you just put on the Batman suit if you're going to do this? He still has the suit, right?
Well, he can't bring it with him.
Whatever.
To the doctor's office.
But... Whatever. It seems pretty convoluted to me, but whatever.
I mean, I think this is an alright scene.
It's a fine... It's just, in context, it's just it feels a little convoluted, because couldn't they find another way to do this with him in the back?
Also, the only reason he was able to track her down is because, they throw in a flimsy throwaway line earlier where Alfred said, we have a trace on the necklace.
It's a Camino saber dart.
It's we have a tracker inside this necklace, so we can track her, so it makes sense.
I mean, it doesn't not make sense, but it's really flimsy, and
because it was delegated to just a throwaway line.
There's never a scene of Bruce, marking all of his, personal belongings that he cares about. Anything like that. They don't show it, they just tell us.
Yeah.
Oh, she's wearing the cat ears. She's cat... I don't know. I don't care about Catwoman in this movie.
Yeah, I don't care about any of this stuff.
Actually, I won't lie. The first time I saw this movie, I was confused whether or not she was supposed to be Catwoman or Batgirl. Now, obviously, I see it's Catwoman, but I don't.
Right.
I feel like they're trying too hard to make her Catgirl, and it comes off more like a parody of someone pretending to be Catgirl, as opposed to a character that's Catgirl. Does that make any sense?
Well, yeah, Catwoman, but...
Did I say Catwoman? Yes.
Yeah,
whatever.
it's Catwoman, sorry. I think her portrayal in the character is fine. It's just
Poorly
it's not
presented, maybe?
It's poorly placed. It doesn't belong in this movie because it's not what I care about.
Yeah, I'm not like who's the actor who plays. I'm assuming her name's the character's name's Selena. Who's the name of the actress who plays Catwoman?
Catwoman, Anne Hathaway.
Okay, I think she does a good job acting. It's just, yeah, it's like you said, it doesn't belong in this movie, so it feels forced because it is.
And
forced.
this whole connection with her and Bane, how she's like she wants anarchy, but then she finds out when there's no structure that it's a bad thing, and it turns out, oh, this isn't what I want.
Like, what do you think was going to happen?
But also, it's just like, you know, they do their best to tie it into the Bane stuff, but like it's not necessary. Again, because, like, what you need to be doing is doing stuff with Bruce Wayne. And really, like, I can't really think of much that they would have done, which, again, is why this movie shouldn't even really exist.
Yeah, that's the thing, Grant.
And the fact that she's able to leave and take his car, it's just like, what? Like,
why?
So basically, he said, "I've misplaced my key" because she obviously stole it. And he's like, the dude's like, "Your wife said you were taking a cab home," and he's like, "My wife?" It's like, did you see him walk in with his wife? It's just like, why would you buy it?
Well, they didn't make news.
It's like,
you know
any random girl could come up and say, "I'm married to Bruce Wayne. It's okay that I have his car."
Right? Like, I know he's been secluded for 8 years, but still, if Bruce Wayne married a person, don't you think that would make headlines? Because you know, at least that's kind of a big fucking deal. It's flimsy. It's really flimsy. But that's the thing, Grant. That I was going to talk about earlier. How could have made a third Dark Knight movie if they weren't going to do any Joker in it? Because I have no fucking clue.
If Joker was in it?
No, if Joker, obviously they can't use Joker because Heath Ledger's gone. But if you were the one in the shoes of Christopher Nolan and you had to make this third Dark Knight movie, like, I don't know, do you have any idea how they could have done it and made it work?
So basically, I would insist to them, no, we're not making this. But if it was required, if you were required
by law because you were in a contract,
yeah. I would say get rid of the fluff, get rid of Catwoman, get rid of Robin, and all these extra side plots that aren't necessary, and instead, just focus on Bane and Batman and actually develop their core story, because it's underdeveloped. Like, show how Bane gets into Gotham, show how he actually infiltrates it and, you know, sets everything up so that he can take over, and show more of Batman, like a real reason for Batman to be motivated to get off his ass and put the cowl back on.
Right.
Not this bullshit.
Right, because this is the thing I keep forgetting. What is Bane's motivation to do what he's doing? Is it just to, like...
Because he I guess he loves Talia and wants to help her out, and she wants to do it because, revenge. Even though they say, they develop in the movie, she didn't have a connection with her father. She didn't even like her father.
So what was the point?
She basically was like, you know, I hated my father because of how he cast out Bane and everything, but then you killed my father, so now I hate you. It's like, what? Why would you care? If you hated your dad, why would you care?
I mean, if I were to make a third Dark Knight movie, I mean, I honestly have no idea what I've done with it. Because, look, I mean, obviously I can do things like adapt stuff from the comic book, because I'm very unoriginal like that. But the thing that makes the Dark Knight special is that even though it does use characters from Batman's mythos, the plots themselves are absolutely original. It's not strictly adherent to the comics. So, and because of my lack of Bane, I have no idea what I would have done differently with him in order to make this movie work.
Yeah.
Like, I know what not to do, because this movie exists, obviously, and we have hindsight. But I don't know what they could have done.
Yeah. I mean, that's Nolan's job.
I mean...
That's corny. I'm sorry, that's really fucking corny.
What was the line?
He said, what's her name, when he opened the door and it was the plane. And he was like, I just decided to call it the Bat. And yes, Mr. Wayne, it does come in black. It's like, ugh.
Bat, you should have gone with Batwing. Whatever. Let me think.
Also, that just fixes his leg?
Yeah, it never comes up again. Wait, if they were just going to do that, then what was the point of giving Bruce a bad leg to begin with? Like, okay, real life consequences, I know. Doing the physical shit that Batman does would result in, like, bad knees and shit, among other things, after 8 years. But if they were just going to throw it away and say, oh, he uses some kind of cybernetic brace so he can walk again, then what was the fucking point?
Also, yeah, Alfred just knows about Bane just because...
Well, because he's Alfred. He's the most powerful character in the Batman mythos. He can punch out Superman, Grant. He can punch out Superman.
Yeah, see, it's forced exposition. Alfred knows this how? Like, how does he know that Bane was a part of the League of Shadows? How does he know that Ra's al Ghul was trained, that he trained Bane? Like,
maybe Alfred was the true leader of the League of Assassins the entire time. No.
See, this was actually an idea that I actually liked, because he goes in and tries to beat Bane with, like, his physical force, but he's not Batman anymore, and obviously he can't beat him because he hasn't fought in, like, 8 years or something. So, I thought it would have been cool, like, if Batman were to defeat this physical force that he's defeated by early on, then he'd have to use his brains, like Alfred was saying just now. But instead, at the end, he just punches harder. And he wins because he's Batman. And can't have Batman lose because he's Batman.
No, Batman! Yeah, it's very unsatisfactory.
Also, why would they let him even go through without taking his helmet off? Also, how did they get in there with those guns? Does that... It was covered in, like, a bag or whatever. Does that...
No.
Like a Ziploc bag or whatever? That doesn't fucking work.
No, trying to sneak an Uzi into the fucking... stock exchange building using nothing but a plastic bag would not have gone.
And no, the fact that it was filled with ice doesn't really matter either.
No, that's not how metal detectors work. It would have detected that long. They wouldn't have not even allowed that bag into the building, probably.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know what they were thinking.
This whole sequence here is weird.
What's the point of it?
They explain it, I'm sure.
Are you sure? That sounds like more like you're hoping they explain it. I'm not sure if... Ugh.
Oh yeah, it was so that they could infiltrate Wayne's company, and that way the guy who's working with Bane can become CEO of Wayne Manor. I mean, Wayne Enterprises, sorry.
Why do they need that?
So they can infiltrate the city? Well, but they don't need that. The guy who wants this is... Bane's just doing this for him because,
Oh, this is his payment.
This is his payment, yeah. For using this guy's company to, use the concrete laced with explosives or whatever, which we'll get to once that comes up, because it doesn't make any fucking sense at all, and I will explain it once we get there.
I mean, I'm no physicist, but I'm pretty sure once the concrete solidifies, it's not going to be flammable. I don't... Huh? I don't know. If any physicists are listening to this, tell me whether or not that's bullshit. Because I'm pretty sure that's bullshit. And I know some of you are wondering, it doesn't have to be realistic, it's a superhero movie. When the superhero movie's trying to be more grounded in realism, I'm gonna judge it by more realistic standards.
Yeah.
So.
And people thought, since The Dark Knight was such an intelligent understanding of what Batman represents as a character, they just assumed this one would be intelligent too. It's not. It's really not at all.
You think it is, but it's not.
Yeah. Why would you get rid of your hostage, too? That was like your only leverage, and you just got rid of 2 of them.
Ugh.
Yeah. Also, they go in this tunnel, but then they come out, and it's pitch black. It's weird, dude.
We're not even an hour in, and I'm already feeling tired watching this movie.
This movie's fucking boring. That's the guy they're doing it for, by the way. Ben Mendelsohn's character.
I don't give a shit. Oh man. Look, this isn't the worst movie in the world.
It's boring,
but it's a pain in the ass to commentate over.
It's boring as shit.
How do you make a Batman movie boring?
I don't know.
Even the really bad Batman films are at least entertaining.
Also, this use of music here, the Dark Knight theme or whatever, is the most manipulative shit ever, because if you think about it, I'm just thinking, there's nothing that warrants the music being used in any way, because...
other than Batman's back!
Yeah. Because, they were thinking, let's just make this really epic and cool by using the music, because it was just the music that made it work in The Dark Knight, right? It's no. Without the music, Dark Knight Rises, without the music, The Dark Knight is still fucking awesome.
Oh, I could watch the movie on fucking mute and still enjoy it.
Yeah. Whereas with something like Dark Knight Rises, without the music, a scene like that, where he just comes back or whatever, would be really fucking lame if there wasn't any music.
I touched on this a little bit before, but can I say it was something that's really disappointing? The art direction for this movie. Because in Batman Begins, it was basically a bit more modern take on what the 1985 Batman movie did. You know, dark, gritty, but still a little kind of cartoony in that kind of sense, in terms of like the city looked, or at least the bad part of Gotham looked. And then we have Dark Knight, which was it kept dark and gritty, took out more of the little bit of cartoony aspects to make it more of a feel grim. But this movie doesn't. I don't feel like I'm even looking at Gotham. I feel like I'm just looking at New York City. It looks too clean, too well lit. Nothing about the movie screams Gotham or Batman or anything. Besides just, honestly, do you know what I'm reminded of based on how the movie looks? This movie looks more like a Mission Impossible than it does like Batman. You know? Whereas...
Yeah, there's too much of the IMAX shots or whatever.
Like, what's interesting about, besides the dude in the Batman costume, what's interesting about this chase visually? Nothing.
Yeah, and there's nothing about the story that makes it interesting.
And the action itself isn't interesting.
Also,
so
how did he do that? How did he do that just now? Like,
bad teleportation device!
How did he escape the cops?
Did they make any changes to the Batsuit this movie?
I don't think so. Not that I can think of, no.
Yeah, just stand there like a dumbass, Batman.
He just doesn't care.
'Cause I'm Batman. I'm immune to bullets. That was convenient.
Why are they not shooting him? Yeah, it's like, it's really convenient that was placed there.
Like
what
isn't
the
Batman
hell?
still wanted for the death of both Harvey and the people Harvey killed? It's like, they should be firing on sight.
Yeah, why is he going out, too? It's like, you're wanted for the death of someone who the city loves.
Like it's fine using the Batsuit for intimidation, but why are you exposing yourself like this? I've seen fucking Superman be more subtle than what Batman's doing right now. But it doesn't fucking matter, because he's Batman.
Yeah. That was not I just looked down that alleyway. They removed something from there. That did not look anything like it did a second ago.
They didn't pay attention to continuity, I guess.
I guess not.
Why didn't you just use that from the start? Why did you bother with the motorcycle?
Well, because you can't exactly catch them with a helicopter like that, I guess.
The helicopter would be faster than the bike, and you wouldn't have to worry about, like, driving through cars or worrying about police cars chasing you. I think the Batwing, I'm calling it the Batwing, I think the Batwing would have been more convenient in that sense.
It could have, yeah.
And as we saw earlier with the guy getting picked up by the helicopter, he wouldn't have worried about the guy getting swooped up by a helicopter and not being able to chase him. Just use the damn Batwing.
Yeah.
So there's the Catwoman outfit, I guess. Okay, do you know something that always pisses me off? The high heels. Because high heels are not a convenient thing to use if you're doing any kind of physical activity, because they're really fucking awkward to move in.
Yeah.
So, I know Catwoman is supposed to be the femme fatale, but drop the fucking high heels, woman. You're just making it harder for yourself. Again, if this movie's wants me to believe that it's taking itself more seriously than the average superhero movie, then I'm going to be more nitpicky with that kind of stuff.
Yeah. No, I totally get that. Also, why are they explaining it? It's like the clean slate button. It's like, we get it. You don't need to explain it with dumb exposition.
Remember when Dark Knight was intelligent enough to trust that the audience knew that knew their fucking shit?
They trusted the intelligence of the audience instead of explaining shit constantly?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe the reason this movie is so goddamn long because they think the audience, despite the fact that this is like a hard PG-13 movie, they still think because it's a superhero movie that 8-year-olds are going to go see it.
Yeah.
And they have to explain it for the babies in the theater. It's like, come on, man. We know you're better than this.
Yeah, I forgot about this. This movie's so fucking boring. Yeah, I'm like yawning. If there's one thing I never remember about the Dark Knight trilogy, I never remembered it being boring.
Probably because you didn't remember most of the movie to begin with.
Oh yeah, like, in terms of rewatchability, I never watched this movie that much. I always just watched Batman Begins and The Dark Knight.
Because why would you watch anything else?
Yeah, because I was like, I didn't like this movie, so... God damn, this really is like a 2 rather than a 4. So far, I mean, there's nothing holding this up. Like, the writing has sucked so far. Nothing has made sense, and there's so many fucking subplots that don't need to be here. I don't even blame Nolan for this. I just blame the whole thing of them being contractually obligated to do so.
I do get a lot of Rise of Skywalker vibes in the sense that at least some point during filming, Nolan just stopped giving a shit. Like he lost.
He wasn't passionate about this and this movie at all because he couldn't do what he wanted.
I mean, if they had to have made a third Dark Knight movie, could they have not just gotten a different director if Nolan wasn't feeling it?
They really should have.
I mean, obviously it'd be very different because Nolan has a very distinct style when it comes to... Oh, that's what that feels like.
Okay, that was like one joke that I thought was kind of funny.
Yeah, the one. Besides all of the memes that were made after the fact.
It keeps on switching in between aspect ratios, and it's so fucking annoying. I'm sorry.
I'm not even paying attention. I'm going to be honest. I'm not paying attention to the movie enough to notice that, but yeah, I get why that'd be annoying. What was I going to say? I was talking about something earlier. Oh yeah, obviously Nolan has a very distinct style to his films, so if they got a different director, I would understand if it felt off. But even then, I still would have taken a director who at least had some ideas to do with a third movie and had some passion for the work, as opposed to forcing the director to do a movie he doesn't like, because that never works out. Every time...
I'm sorry, but it's weird seeing him in the outfit without the mask. It's weird.
Yeah. So, I mean, sometimes helmetless shots in the costume are cool, but just to see the... Yeah, seeing the cowl removed from this... Excuse me. Seeing the cowl removed from the rest of the suit is just weird.
Also, Batman hasn't fought in 8 years, and I don't understand how he's so dumb that he's, like, really overconfident. I mean, shouldn't they do, like, the Dark Knight Returns thing, where, like, he's struggling in combat because he's been out of practice for 8 years? Yeah. He's gone slower, his body's... Finally, I actually can't believe I'm saying this. This is the first good scene in the movie.
Hallelujah!
actually talk about stuff from The Dark Knight.
Which is good. I'm glad they finally touch on the... Because Alfred tells him that Rachel was planning to be with Harvey, right?
Yeah, this is the scene.
Right.
Yeah, he tells him about the letter that he...
Right, because obviously... Arthur didn't want to tell Bruce that during Dark Knight because there was still a bunch of shit going down, and Bruce was having it rough as it is. So it just wasn't a good time for it.
Yeah,
and
he basically tells him he did to spare him pain or whatever, and obviously he hates him for it.
I mean, I'd be upset too, but at the same time, it's Alfred.
Yeah.
Has Alfred ever been wrong about anything?
No.
I mean, the whole point of Alfred's character is to serve as Batman's Jiminy Cricket, right? His conscience, his voice of
his
voice of reason.
Yeah.
So I get what they're trying to say, but it's hard for me to feel with Bruce because Alfred's right about everything, including this one moment. So I can't hate Alfred.
Yeah. It's like the one scene in this movie with like characters who actually have a connection, because the first two movies actually having a good scene together. Like, it's insane. And there's never a scene like that for the rest of the movie.
Nope, that's it.
That's like the one good scene.
All right, we can end the commentary now. Hope you guys enjoyed. Well, I'm not sure what we're doing next time. You'll know when it is.
All right. No, we're not going to be like that.
This time around. I'll probably do that when we get to the Star Wars sequels.
No, you're not.
I'll be tempted to. I'm not going to lie.
You'll be tempted to, but you're not going to. See, this whole thing where he was like, he goes broke or whatever. That was the point of the stock exchange. So that way, they would want to get Bruce out of CEO position or whatever. So that way, the guy who Bane's working with can start controlling Wayne Enterprises. But obviously, Bane's working with Ra's al Ghul's daughter, so she takes position because, they were benefited from that or whatever, and then he just kills the other guy.
Also, does it really matter the fact that Bruce is losing control of his company? Because in another Batman movie, that would be a case to weaken Batman because he doesn't have access to all the gadgets and stuff he normally has. Mm-hmm. Do they ever touch upon that on this film? I don't think they do.
They never present that as a huge consequence. They focus more on the fact that Bane's going to take control of the city.
Yeah, maybe that's just the fact why this movie is just so uninteresting. A lot of stuff happens, but there's little of consequence that goes on.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas in Dark Knight, everything had a consequence.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that the thing that, Dr. Octopus was going to use to blow up New York?
Kind of.
His precious tritium. We gotta do Spider-Man.
Their relationship between these two is so weird.
They had a relationship? I don't remember this character, I'm going to be honest.
No, in a few minutes you'll see. She fucks him.
Oh, is that Talia?
Yeah, that is.
You
forgot?
I forgot what she looked like.
That's crazy.
I mean, you want to talk missed opportunity, man. This is Talia al Ghul's first live-action appearance in a movie. And she's supposed to be a really interesting character, one of Batman's love interest, the heir to the dragon, which is Ra's al Ghul's nickname, the Dragon. She's the mother of Batman's son, Damian Wayne, who's the current Robin. And they do nothing Batman, with her in this movie.
And Bruce wants her to be his successor because he trusts her. Why? Because she looks hot? She's hot, I guess.
She kind of looks like Rachel from the first movie, I guess. I don't know. I mean, it's more type of missed opportunity. In the comics, Talia is on par with Batman in terms of combat ability. It's like they don't do anything with her for fighting. They don't use anything of her in the politics of the movie. She's just there for the last minute twist.
Yeah.
Without anything else to her, and it's completely wasted, like so many other aspects of this movie. He just stands up, says, "I'm Batman," and everyone just goes back to work. This is no longer an enterprise. Now this is Batman Incorporated.
Everyone just goes along with this jackass because... Also, yeah, they're trying so hard to do this thing where it's like, the theme of the movie is Bruce Wayne rising, the Dark Knight rises, but that's such a boring.
Is that why this movie's titled the way it was? Is that what they were going for?
Yeah,
because Bruce Wayne is not the Dark Knight. That's Batman. That's. Yeah, can I just say right now, this nitpick, but Dark Knight Rises is a title that makes no goddamn sense for this movie. I don't get it.
They never build up his arc enough to make you feel that emotion of him rising. Like he's overcome. Well, not overcome. Basically, he's just come out of, the shitter or the, vats of hell, basically. Because, Bane breaks his back and he's suffering emotionally from everything that happened in the last movie. So it's trying to make you feel this sense of yes, he's back. He's he's rising up again, and it's just like that. I don't get that feeling from this movie at all.
Do they feel like Dark Knight Returns would be too on the nose? It's stupid. They don't set it up well enough to justify that title.
Yeah. Alright. Luckily, we're getting close to the end of these fucking boring-ass 40 minutes.
Oh god, the movie's about to start, finally.
The real meat and bulk of this movie is actually about to start.
We can really start bitching and whining about how much we don't like this movie.
Yeah. If you think this is the worst of it, oh man, you are in for it once we get into it later. Because trust me, it only gets worse.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest.
And the only reason why the movie isn't boring from the point where Batman fights Bane moving forward, the only reason it's not boring is because of how shitty it is. Because of how bad the writing is.
Right.
The fact, me noticing how dumb the writing is the only thing that keeps me from being bored, basically.
Yeah, so I'm going to be honest with you, Grant. Out of the past, hour we've been watching this movie, I remember a total of 5 minutes from it. A lot of this movie, it's oh, I forgot this scene exists. I forgot this scene exists. I forgot this scene exists. Do I care? Not really. I probably forgot why these scenes exist because they weren't interesting at all. Ugh.
I don't understand why this movie is praised. A ton of people love this movie. You and me, we're in the minority on this one, dude.
Well, that's why we're Heretic Theater, after all.
It's crazy, but because it's almost everyone universally hates something like Spider-Man 3. But it's this is just as bad.
I feel like people are just in denial because, at least with Spider-Man 3, not only is that movie ridiculous...
They're in denial. People think it's better than it is because it's Nolan. And because it's a sequel to The Dark Knight, which is an extremely intelligent movie.
It's connected to do good things, so that means the thing itself also has to be good, except even good directors can make bad movies. And also, here's the thing, I don't think this is a positive for Spider-Man 3, but here's what I think. Spider-Man 3 is a fucking ridiculous movie, and it knows it.
It's fun as hell.
Yeah. That movie knows it's ridiculous and holds no bar, and has no apologies for how ridiculous it is. But this movie, while it is ridiculous, it presents itself as being smart and intelligent. Yes, both smart and intelligent.
Spider-Man 3 is fucking hilarious.
Yeah, so I think a lot of people just don't realize how poorly this movie's written, because this movie believes itself to be good, and so people just assumes to be good. But if they think about it for 1 minute...
She's just, like, there to basically tell him, like, I have the company now, I'll take care of your legacy or whatever, and then they just fuck? Like, why?
It's not even a good sex scene. They skip all the good parts. What's it with sex scene in movies being so fucking lame all the time?
Also, yeah, whatever the fuck happened to you loving Rachel, Bruce? Like, this whole love between them, it's not set up at all. It just comes out of nowhere.
I keep forgetting she's Talia al Ghul, to be honest.
Yeah, it's like, he just, like, why? And
why that?
Not just why, it's like, this wasn't set up, like...
Also, why does Talia want to fuck Bruce Wayne? And does she want revenge on him for, like, killing the dad she never liked?
She's doing it so she can earn his trust or whatever, so, like, she seems, like, completely innocent and everything. Or whatever.
It's stupid. It's stupid!
It is really stupid.
If you already own the company, you don't need to earn his trust. Because presumably, Bruce never had a doubt about her. Like, never once in this movie does Bruce think that doesn't trust Talia, so it doesn't matter.
I mean, like, he trusts her to run his company. So that should have been enough.
Also, why are they sleeping on the floor? I know they're out of money, but Bruce should still have the damn furniture.
I'm pretty sure he still does, yeah.
So why are they fucking on the floor? I mean, I guess if you're into that, but...
This whole part is just stupid.
In all fairness, I do prefer this over the sex scene between Batman and Batgirl in the Killing Joke animated movie.
Well, that's a conversation for another.
Oh, okay. I still haven't actually seen that movie, That scene. And there's a reason for that.
That movie's dumb.
Because that movie's fucking stupid.
Okay, so this is like the beginning, like the real beginning.
Oh my god, we're like an hour and 12 minutes in, and now we're finally beginning. Holy crap. Well, to be fair, he is Batman. He doesn't trust his best friends. Batman is the type of guy who invents ways to kill his own allies. Because Batman's a dick.
And see, this is more exposition. She's like, I just know where Bane is because I've heard rumors that they're in the tunnels or whatever.
Which tunnels? There's a lot of tunnels in Gotham, I'm assuming.
This very one they're in right now, I guess.
Yeah, look, that was a reference to the beginning of the first movie.
Yeah.
And I don't give a shit. And also, Batman's just fast enough to dodge bullets.
Yeah. Like, just because they can't see him, they shouldn't have missed him there.
Not when he's running straight at him like that.
And this is like...
a mistake that has no consequences because they fuck afterwards.
Yeah, they're together at the end, so... And everything's okay by the end, so...
this is a detail my dad actually told me when he first watched this movie. Do you remember how earlier you were talking about trying to manipulate the audience emotions using the music? Same thing here. You know what my dad told me during this scene? You know how he knew Batman was going to lose? He doesn't have his theme song playing.
Yeah. Yeah, see, there's like no music, so they're trying to use music to manipulate the audience.
Same here with a lot of music.
That is not the way you use music in a movie. Like, it shouldn't be used to manipulate people or tell your audience how to feel. You know? Also, why did Batman attack him right there as he was going down the chain?
I don't know. And oh god, these fight scenes are so stiff. I know I said earlier that this. I want a Batman.
Yeah, I can't even say that I like this fight scene. Like that shot right there where he turned around and supposedly punched him. It was like the most obvious shit. Like I could see it. Like I could literally see it. Like I could literally tell he missed him, and I could see right here.
Yeah.
Like, this is like the most obvious.
This is the same. This is on par with the Adam West Batman fight scenes. Pow, bang, kapoosh, whatever the sound effects are.
Yeah.
You know, that's on par. You know, I really want a Batman movie with John Wick style fight choreography because these two were supposed to be trained by Ra's al Ghul, right?
The one good line usage from Bane is a line that's stolen from another movie,
which is
Batman Begins, when he said theatricality and deception are powerful agents to the uninitiated. That's
what theatrics?
That's what Ra's al Ghul told Bruce when he was training him in the first one, and he was teaching him about the smoke bombs and how to disappear, basically.
But there are no theatrics in this fight scene.
No, but yeah, I was gonna say when Ra's al Ghul said it, it made sense. But
he's a ninja.
But this was just here because it's like Bane trained under Ra's al Ghul, so
therefore he's good at fighting.
So he probably told him the same thing, Yeah. Darkness is your ally. This line is so funny. I don't know why. I was born and molded by it. I didn't see it until I was a man. And he's like, I see you, bitch. And then just chokes him. And see, they're trying to really scare you with this part right here. Watch. He punches so hard, he's so strong that he cracks the mask. It's like...
That was an awkward cut.
I'm sorry, but it's just like, I get you're trying to make him look more intimidating and scare the audience, because, like, holy shit, he just broke a bulletproof mask, but it's just like...
Also,
I just don't know how that's realistic, because it's just like, since it's a bulletproof mask, I don't care how strong you are, you probably can't break something like that. You're not stronger than a bullet.
Yeah. They had a whole scene in, like, the first movie of him making the mask over and over again to establish how sturdy it was. Now, I know this is a different mask,
also, if he's in the sewers here, how does he not know that it's below his own, like, armory or whatever?
Right.
How does he not? And he breaks his back
in the most uninteresting way possible.
Yeah, they're just doing it to reference the comics, and
because that's like the one thing Ben's
he's done, and so they.
Alas, Batman! I knew him well.
Batman has fallen, and he's been defeated. And
that fight scene fucking sucks.
It really does.
There's nothing interesting in terms of their combat styles. They don't use any gadgets or anything like that. I mean, they don't use any tricks established in Batman Begins. No fear gas, no smoke pellets, nothing.
And it's so transparent too, because it's like this is the middle of the movie, so you know that the whole part isn't going to have any consequence to it, because there hasn't been any consequence so far.
Like, that scene was supposed to be like the Duel of Fates of this movie, the big one-on-one fight scene, and it was fucking boring.
Yeah.
They were better off doing what they did in the first movie and just doing a lot of shaky cam and close cuts.
Yeah.
Because that at least implies exciting action. But that was just really fucking boring.
Yeah. And the thing is, with this movie, especially by the very end of it, it really is one of those movies that undoes, like, everything that made The Dark Knight so special. Like, there's no consequence to that movie anymore because of this bullshit.
You know what, Grant? So right before we're recording this, I just got back from a trip to the dentist, and I can say, without a doubt, that getting my mouth poked out by metal hooks is more fun than watching Dark Knight Rises. Without a fucking doubt.
Yeah.
And I'm sure I just pissed a lot of people off.
Yeah, we're gonna piss a lot of people off with this video because a lot of people love this movie. For some reason.
And to be fair, man, is this the worst Batman movie ever? No. Is this the worst superhero movie ever? No. But it is completely overrated by people who have no idea what they're talking about. They're just afraid to call this movie bad because Dark Knight, Christopher Nolan.
Yeah. And because, the themes are good.
Yes, because all you need to have to make a good movie is themes. Not even good themes, just themes.
Those themes, they have to be well executed as well. Having a good theme does not automatically make a movie good.
Remember this?
Here we go. We can start getting into the really stupid shit.
Oh,
yay! Okay, so the whole
you waited weeks to say this. Weeks! You've been bothering me for like a month just for this one moment to do this damn movie. The whole reason we did the whole trilogy is so you can talk about this one goddamn scene. So you better not fuck it up.
No, it's not this one scene. It's the entire last part of this movie.
All right. Well, make it count because I'm not doing this again.
Okay, yeah, this is the beginning of the bullshit. Okay,
the bullshit begins.
Okay, so the whole point of keeping him in this prison, right?
Instead of just killing him,
is that he doesn't want to kill him yet. He wants his punishment to be more severe because, of course, he doesn't fear his own death because, he's Batman, right?
Batman's not afraid of anything!
Okay, so he wants to torture his soul by making him watch Gotham burn because it's the city he set out to protect and he failed because of Bane, and Bane wants him to know that he failed. And it's like, okay,
that makes sense.
I understand. That makes sense, which that's all fine, yes. But a couple of things.
Bat butt.
First off, what is this prison exactly?
Right.
Why is it here? Why are there prisoners here? Why does Bane have prisoners in this tunnel or whatever? It's never explained why this place even exists to begin with, or who these prisoners are, or why they are there.
Why they just allow people to climb out the hole in the top?
Yeah, they never explain. Yeah, why do they just let people climb out at the top? And if Batman can climb out of the top, why would Bane not suspect that he would try to do that? If they allow people to try and climb out, then he would suspect Batman would try. And since he's fucking Batman, he should be, given that he's a smart person, so he should know that Batman could very well climb out. So why wouldn't he have security guards there? So to, shoot his ass once he gets out?
Right. Or better yet, why not just kill Batman?
Yeah, what? Well, also, again, okay, I'll actually save this really dumb part that I was going to bring up once we actually get to it. It happens later, though. So, I'll tell you about that part once we get to it, but holy shit, I can't believe they actually thought this was smart to put in their script. Okay, so this is the beginning of the even more stupid shit. That is one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. Commissioner Gordon is supposed to be a smart person, as we see in The Dark Knight.
Right.
He's not an idiot. He's a smart man.
He's the one that had the whole fake his death scheme to capture the Joker, and it worked! And he's suggesting here that they take literally not just a large amount of cops. He's saying every single available cop in the city should go down into the tunnels to kill Bane. Yeah, because that worked so well the first time. They just needed more people.
Are they retarded? Seriously, it's like, what if you lose? Just think about that for a
You
second.
just lost Batman!
This thought never crossed your mind. What if you guys lose?
Because you guys just lost Batman, and now you're risking the entire police force in Gotham.
Yeah, it's like, if you lose, you have literally lost your entire law enforcement in your city!
And Ben didn't even have to finish his damn plan!
Oh my gosh. I hate this movie so much. Also, yeah, when Batman tries this later, it doesn't break his back again for some reason.
Like, that's like, rope or not, that fellow should have killed him.
Yeah, exactly. Also, they keep saying, like, Bane paid me a lot of money to keep you alive, but it's like, you're in a prison, in a fucking hole in the ground. What the fuck are you
How
gonna
much is
do?
he paying you to stay here?
Well, also, yeah, like, what the fuck are you gonna do with your money if you're stuck down there? If you're a prisoner?
Just
like,
another throwaway of line to explain how stupid this plot is.
Yeah. Oh, God. They're literally all walking into the tunnels. It's like, this is the dumbest bullshit I've ever seen.
So all those people who criticize how stupid the Jedi are in the prequels because Palpatine did his master plan without even having to try?
Yeah.
Same shit here.
Yeah. Also, okay, this comes back to the whole concrete laced with explosives bullshit. So, Bane used this construction company he used their concrete, laced it with explosives somehow. I don't know how he fucking did that, because that seems like bullshit to me. But the construction plans for the city just so happened to perfectly coincide with the areas that Bane wanted to blow up in order to trap the cops and destroy the football stadium, as well as the bridges. Like, did all of those bridges get renovated in the past year? Did they just built and renovated above the, entrances to the sewers within the past year? Like,
what the fuck?
Why? What the fuck?
Hey, it's, I was trying to make a Tony Stark
also, somehow
they don't give a shit anymore.
They can transform this reactor into a bomb because, this doctor is
science!
The doctor they have is a nuclear physicist, so he can turn the reactor into a bomb. Okay? I mean,
again, it doesn't make sense.
To be fair, that's I won't say that's like impossible or anything, but it just seems really dumb and flimsy to me.
They didn't go into it beforehand, so it just feels like it comes out of nowhere.
Also, why would they listen to Gordon and send every cop down there? Did no one tell them?
The man's in the hospital.
Did seriously no one think of how dumb that idea is?
Yeah, did no one think hey, Jim's in the hospital having drugs pumped into his system, so to make sure he's not in constant pain. Maybe we should let a more lucid human being in the police force lead this operation.
Yeah. Also, the football stadium was renovated in the past year as well. Like, this is such an impossibly intricate plan that just happens to work out.
Do you know why it happened to work out? Because Batman just happened to retire for 8 years. It almost feels like they had that throwaway line just to explain how Bane was able to do all of this shit off screen without any trouble beforehand.
Also, this is such a dumb part. It's like he accidentally
ricochets the bullet off the truck. He could have shot himself by doing that. That's not how Ricochet works.
Actually, that wasn't even the dumb part that I was going to say. He just throws his gun away.
Why?
It's your gun. It's like that's like the whole thing is like, he's the next Batman, so he has to hate guns. He killed 2 guys, and so now he hates guns because killing bad.
You're a cop. It's part of your job.
Oh, and what's even funnier is you'll see it in a minute. He just grabs a shotgun later, and it's just like, whatever happened to not liking killing? Do you just not care anymore? It's like they're heading into a trap. You know, these guys, these concrete guys, they were making explosives or whatever. And it's like, even if they weren't, that's a dumb idea regardless, because if they lose, then you've lost all your law enforcement. And you cannot say that they're so arrogant that they would think, you know, it's impossible for them to lose.
Don't you know how this works, right? If it doesn't exist in the Jedi archives, then it doesn't exist. Oh, now you realize this is a stupid fucking idea.
Now you realize it's a dumb fucking idea.
And I like how you're just screaming to pull them out instead of just telling on your walkie-talkie to everyone to back up 5 feet.
Yeah, it's like, don't you have a walkie-talkie?
It's in your goddamn hand. Do you think we're going to get copyrighted for someone singing the Star Spangled Banner?
I don't know.
I wouldn't be surprised at this point. We've been pretty lucky with copyright so far, because it's literally just us talking over in the movie, and you can barely hear the TV audio if you listen closely. Yeah. But I don't know, man. It's a weird world out there. Fine. Okay.
But
I shouldn't be worried about that, but there's a lot of things I shouldn't be worried of that I have to worry about.
I will say this really quick. We were talking about shot composition earlier. I will say this part coming up here, you'll see it in a minute.
The one with the football stadium?
The one with the football scene. It's like this one shot is actually pretty cool. It's like the one shot in the movie that the one shot in the movie that I actually distinctly remember in my mind in terms of shots from the trilogy. If there's one from this movie that, like, this is definitely the only one. See, like, he just planned these specific places, like, how? It was that 1+1 coming up in a minute.
That was cool with the football stadium collapsing.
Yeah, this right here, yeah. See, that? I think that's a pretty cool shot.
I mean, it makes no sense you'd be able to outrun that, but yeah. Also, apparently the guys in the football field, they were actual NFL players. I don't remember which team they got to do that. I'm not an NFL guy.
Yeah, see all the bridges, too? It's like, so, I've heard some say that wasn't the concrete, they just placed charges on there. It's like, how did they not get caught then? If they placed, like, timed charges on those bridges to destroy them, how did they do that without getting caught?
It just raises too many questions.
This movie, yeah, the writing doesn't answer questions, it just raises more.
Also, I like how Bane has that
Bane's
giant...
men are just faceless men. I mean,
like, are they supposed to be, like, former members of the League of Shadows? Like, what?
I think so. I mean, that's not really a criticism of mine. They don't have to explain why they're following him, because, I mean, they don't really explain why Joker's men are following him.
They do. They did explain it.
They did?
Yeah, the Joker's men were part of the mob, remember? And Joker was pretty much the last guy left in charge.
I mean, his clowns before he took control of the mob.
Okay. I mean, you can still just imply that there were guys who hired for the job.
See, there you go. He took a shotgun.
It's all because they established that connection with Bane and Ra's al Ghul, so you'd think, oh, well, maybe his work, if the whole thing that former members of the League of Shadows want revenge on Batman for killing Ra's al Ghul, they'd probably be, ninjas or something. But there's nothing like that in this movie, so it makes you question, who are these guys if they're not members of the mob just working for money, and if they're not members of the League of Shadows working for revenge, then who are they? There's no context for them. I
don't really care about that. That's not a criticism.
It's a minor thing, but it's just one of those things that it's hard to forgive. That's the thing with movie. If a movie's good, you can forgive the less explained elements of it. But if it's a movie like this where it gives you nothing good to focus about, then you focus on the bad things. And you learn to focus on all of the bad things. You have little stuff like, who are Bane's men? Are they working for him?
Also, the referee was conveniently passed out, and he conveniently had a microphone that was plugged into the overhead speakers. Right. So Bane could give his huge speech or whatever.
Not that it matters anyways, because no one's going to understand what the fuck he's saying with that mask on.
It's like, if you're... like, you could have brought your own mic if you were planning this bullshit.
Also, why does...
Also, He's like, I'm going to make a point. I'm going to show everyone that this guy's alive and that he's the only one who can disarm this bomb. And then he's like, I'm going to kill him in front of everyone so everyone knows that it can't be stopped. But it's just like he snaps his neck, and I'm just like, on live TV, it's like, if you're going to make this a point, you probably would want to shoot him.
Right.
Rather than snap his neck, because, watch this shit. Like, from a TV perspective, like, it looks fake.
Yeah.
It looks fucking fake as shit.
A bullet to the head would have been more...
a bullet to the head would have been a lot more...
visceral.
Effective.
Yeah. Also, I'm really late for asking this. Why is Bane wearing the mask?
Because they never even explained it. I assume it's just because it's like his face is
does he have like really bad asthma? And he wears it so he doesn't like...
I guess somehow he got brutal... it helps him breathe or live? I don't fucking... I don't fucking know.
Like, I know, because he just said, what happens if you remove the mask? It'll be extremely painful. And, we saw earlier... when the mask gets damaged, Bane gets crippled.
Yeah,
so
like he gets really mad because it's like hurting him. So obviously,
but why?
Yeah, like what is it? Like what about you is damaged that requires this mask for you to live?
And I know what some of you think. Oh, but they don't need to explain why Joker got the scars. But that's a different thing.
That's not the same fucking thing.
The whole point of Joker giving the speeches was because it doesn't matter how he got the
scars. The whole
the
point of that whole speech is that it doesn't.
But here, Bane is just wearing a cheap Darth Vader cosplay, so I have to wonder about it because what's the point to it?
Yeah.
And I know Bane wears a weird kind of costume in the comic books, and they want to homage to that. I get that. But again, they never explain it.
Yeah, the whole thing they never explain is like the military's here now, and obviously they don't cross the bridge or whatever. But it's like, why don't they just destroy the bomb? Blow it up or whatever. It's never explained, and I'll get more into it later, especially after Batman escapes.
Hey, it's Peter Parker. Well, someone Parker. I don't know. Maybe that's supposed to be a subtle Spider-Man reference, but I don't know.
As if they didn't already know that?
So yeah. Okay, I know why obviously Bruce Wayne and all the main characters care, but why do the outside people care about Gotham being destroyed? Isn't supposed to be the most crime-ridden city in all of the DC universe, but
oh yeah, that actually brings me to another thing that doesn't make any sense. I completely forgot about this. Holy shit! So. The whole thing that Bane says is he wants to finish what Ra's al Ghul started, and so does Talia because
reasons.
Because Batman killed her dad, but it's just the whole goal of his mission was to destroy Gotham because it's the most crime-ridden city ever. It's basically a sewer, and it needs to die off and restart or whatever because it's just a city filled with crime. But in this context now, it's peacetime, and crime has gone down and everything, so it's just his whole plan thing or whatever, them fulfilling it doesn't make sense in this context.
That's a good point. Even if it's not the way they wanted, Batman accomplished what the League wanted, bringing order to the city.
Yeah.
So why should... Again, that's like reason number 3 why the villain should not care about what's going on. I'm sorry, I can't take Bane seriously because of that goddamn voice.
I can't take him seriously at all.
Corrupt City. All the main criminals are in jail already.
Yeah.
How does Bane have this?
He was in the sewer. That was the whole reason for injuring him, so that he could be in the sewer so that he could take this from Gordon so he could say it in front of everyone.
Who wrote this letter?
Gordon did.
Why did he write it?
Because he was going to tell everyone on news at that place, but then he decided not to.
And he didn't burn the letter afterwards because he didn't think someone could, use it against them, like in this very case? Because because the whole issue with Harvey is very, very paramount on his actions in the law, keeping the prisoners locked up. And if he put it in the wrong hands, they could fuck everything up again.
Yeah.
Jim, I thought you were smarter than this.
Yeah, this movie is so fucking stupid.
We're not even at the 2-hour mark yet. God damn it. What was the point of that scene?
To show, the decision they made might not have been the best choice or whatever. And it's that's the point of The Dark Knight. It's we don't need it explained in an exposition-y way to
How
us.
many years was in between this movie and Dark Knight?
8 years.
No, in real time, between movie releases.
Oh, in real time? 4, I think. Yeah, 4. Because Dark Knight came out 2008, this was 2012.
That's a little bit of time in between movies, at least by standards nowadays, but I don't know why anyone wouldn't have seen Dark Knight before this, because again, it's one of the greatest superhero movies of all time, so I don't know why they need to constantly repeat what happened in that movie. But whatever. Is it over yet? No, seriously, man, I'm about 2 minutes away from going on my phone. Because I am running out of things to talk about that's relevant to this movie.
I like how he's basically saying stuff, and then after he says it, they're just showing it happen. You know? Because it's see, they're taking over the city, and it's chaos, and it needs to be saved.
Except chaos is the Joker's thing, not the League of Assassins
Also,
thing.
he's keeping the police alive, but why?
Just kill him.
Yeah,
you're gonna kill everyone anyways. Just kill him.
Yeah, it's why are you keeping the police alive? Just fucking kill them.
Also, you know what I don't realize? I know Talia wants revenge on Batman and for killing.
It doesn't even make sense why she wants revenge on him, because they established she's not connected with her father.
But even then,
at all.
even if she wanted revenge on Batman, why does she want to destroy the entire city of Gotham?
Because she's with Bane and finishing what her father started.
But that's not what her father started.
Yeah, I know it's not, because it's just his whole thing was to bring order back to Gotham because it was a sewer run by criminals, and so it should be allowed to die. And that happened. They were in peacetime, so this whole thing doesn't make sense. It's bullshit.
I didn't think we'd top Godzilla King of the Monsters so soon on just how much bullshit we could spout over one movie.
This isn't as bad as King of the
It's not as bad, but we have a lot more bad things to talk about. Because even though this movie, again, isn't the worst thing ever, it is extremely disappointing, especially considered the movie that came before this.
Yeah, it's a sequel to one of the best movies ever. It literally feels like The Godfather Part 3 of the trilogy.
Why is it always the third movie when it's not Lord of the Rings?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Also, they keep a rope there. Like, for some reason. Some dude just comes, like, every month to bring supplies and change out the rope or whatever. It's so dumb. And yeah, this whole Talia twist is dumb as well. But it's just like, why, those people there, like, why? Yeah, and we got a flashback with Roz in a second.
Yeah, I remember that. Or how pointless it was. It's like, hey guys, it's Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah, it's like,
cameo.
They're like, see, this is what he wants, right? It's like, no, that's not what he wanted in the first one. He was not evil because he wants to destroy Gotham.
He wanted to rebuild Gotham into like a utopia or whatever. Ra's was lawful evil, not chaotic evil like the Joker was.
Right.
The Joker just wanted to watch shit burn. Did he? I mean, I know Ra's is immortal.
And whereas with this one, they're just basically like, Gotham's not very cool, even though it's in peacetime right now. I think we should kill it.
No. Real quick, though. That line where not fake Ra's is like, I told you I was immortal. Did he tell him that in Batman Begins? I mean, I know Ra's is immortal.
I think so, yeah.
I mean, I know in the comic books Ra's is immortal because of the whole Lazarus Pit thing. But I didn't think... Oh, okay. Not that it matters, because it's just a hallucination brought up by the pain in his spine. Because why else would Ra's be here? He's dead. But I don't know. I think it's just another stupid reference to the comics for the sake of having a Liam Neeson cameo. Holy fuck, he actually fades out like a Force Ghost. I forgot about that. This movie's fucking dumb.
Gotham must be allowed to die.
Also, are we going to mention the fact that this old dude basically gives Bruce the equivalent of a pat on the back and that fixes his spine?
I know. It's the dumbest shit ever.
It's not even some, like, Mr. Miyagi hand-rubbing kind of bullshit. He just slaps him in the back. And it just fixes his spine. Also, here's the thing about this back tank. If Bruce had this from the beginning, why didn't he use it? Like, if he had a spare, why did he never use it? Like, I know why he kept using the bike in Dark Knight, because he wouldn't have time to get it, but why not just use that again now? If he had the spare. If it's because it's not in black, well, give me a day and a couple cans of spray paint and I can fix that. It's like, ugh.
At this point, it's just like, I don't...
How do they do that? How do they stack all those police cars like that?
I don't know. I don't know. And yeah,
Pokemon Cafe Mix now available. Good to know.
The kids subplot once again. Also, yeah, he gets stronger than Bane just because he did a few push-ups in his cell.
I wish it was that easy to build muscle when I was in wrestling.
Yeah, it's like he hasn't done this shit in 8 years and he just built himself back up just like that. Just from doing push-ups and pull-ups in his cell. It's like, okay. I wish it were that easy to be as strong as Bane.
So in news completely related to Batman, Pokemon just released an announcement video the other day. And a lot of people... and no, I'm serious. This is totally related to what's going on right now. A lot of people in the comments are pissed because apparently they've been deleting dislikes from the video.
Yeah, that is totally related to this.
Yeah.
Totally. It's like the child did it without the robe, so I guess that's how it works. Can't use the rope.
I feel like if there's all these people in here, couldn't they make like some kind of human ladder that they all can like climb out of? You know?
Also, based on that jump that we just saw from the kid, I don't think that kid would have made it.
No.
And I think that's why they cut away before she
because the actual actor didn't make it.
Yeah, I don't think so.
There's a lot of awkward cuts in this movie that I noticed too. There was a lot of continuity issues between the cuts in the
Also,
scene.
why not just send a missile at Bane or something?
I know, right?
Wait, special forces were able to get into the city? How?
Because...
What? I thought they closed everything off! What?
Because I'm Batman?
What?
This movie is still going. Do I need to get the clown makeup, Grant? Are we going to have a Game of Thrones season 8 scenario where you start laughing and I have to awkwardly leave a room for the minute because you're legitimately scaring me? Do I need to hide all the sharp objects in the house?
Was I seriously laughing like the joke?
Yes! You were hysterical. I have never seen you laugh that hard in the entire time I've known you. Like, you were like broken. You're like a broken man after season 8, episode 4 of Game of Thrones.
Episode 5.
Episode 5.
Well, it's literally because they ruined everything in that episode.
Oh dear God.
Oh God. We're watching Dark Knight Rises. We're
not
talking about
No, we're fucking not. We're having a conversation while Dark Knight Rises playing in the background. We'll start talking when the final fight scene comes up. Grant, how's your fucking weekend?
There's things coming up before that I'll have things to say about. Like,
okay, well, you gotta carry it because I have fucking nothing to say about this movie for the next 30 minutes.
Also, yeah, this whole thing where it's like, special forces are gonna help them doesn't matter because you'll see in a second they just get shot dead. So this whole part, again, could have been just cut out.
Hey, Morgan Freeman. I'm a little late, but yeah, you're in this movie too. Why is Lucius back after he resigned from helping Batman?
He didn't. He said it would be his resignation because the machine was there, but then he said type your name in after, and the machine was destroyed. So
that feels a little convenient. I thought it was pretty.
I think that's what they were doing in The Dark Knight. That was the point. Was that as long as this machine's here, I won't be with Wayne Enterprises or something. But since the machine was destroyed, I think that's fine.
I think it was supposed to be implied that Lucius still resigned, because even though the machine was destroyed, the fact that Batman did it in the first place was so horrifying to him that he just had to walk away.
I don't think so.
Then why else would that? Then that scene where Lucius said, "This is the last thing I'll do for you, then I quit," means nothing.
But well, no,
it's one of the best scenes in the movie, and it means nothing if he just stayed.
I don't think so, because he literally tells Lucius, Batman himself tells Lucius to type in his name.
Yeah, just typing your name into the computer and all is forgiven, despite the fact that you violated the civil rights of every person in the goddamn city.
Well,
I thought Lucius was pretty pissed.
Well, because he can't do it now because of
it doesn't. I don't think that matters, Grant. The fact he did it at all. I thought it was. In fact, that scene of Lucius walking away is the last shot we see him in the movie. I thought it was implied that he was done. I mean, wouldn't you? If you were in that situation, I know I would have walked away and never worked for Batman again if that were the case.
I mean, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was implied in The Dark Knight. Like, if we ignore this movie, in The Dark Knight, it's implied
that... because he walks out after
Yeah, that's the final shot of his character in the movie.
Yeah, maybe. They never explain why he stayed, I guess.
Well, they stayed because Morgan Freeman needs to be in the movie, otherwise don't want to see it, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like, Batman does some sit-ups, so he's bigger and better than Bane now.
Let's look on the bright side. At least they didn't try to make a CGI clone of Heath Ledger to appear in the movie in his place.
That is true.
Yet.
Very true.
Give it a couple years.
This time he didn't even make it up there because one of the stones broke.
That stone should have cracked his fucking skull open.
It should have cracked his spine again.
Yeah.
And they're trying to do that whole parallel to Batman Begins. And it's like,
it doesn't work.
I'm just like, yeah, I get it. I get what you're trying to do. Thank you. Because they were like, that showed the part where he came up out of the well. And, they had this line where they said, "Why do we fall?" again, but...
We already have the answer to that in the last movie. Why did we do it again?
They're making it so obvious. It's like, I don't need you to play that scene to tell me
guys, I watched The Dark Knight. I liked it a lot. Why are we watching this movie and not watching The Dark Knight? Or, paint dry. Because at least watching paint dry would take less time than watching this. Oh, man, this movie was a bad idea for a commentary.
I think the trilogy was worth it because
the first two movies were worth it, but I gotta, do you know how hard it is to not talk about something else? I know you're trying to keep us in track, but I don't give a shit. I don't. I got nothing to say anymore. Ugh.
Well, at least now we're on the part where he escapes the well.
And they never explain how he got back to Gotham.
Yep.
Or how he got back the bat suit, even though the mask was broken.
Yeah, the mask was broken. I guess it's because he used the suit that was in the Batcave there, and it turns out that wasn't the suit that he used in Dark Knight, because apparently the one that, the Batcave from the Dark Knight, apparently the suit is still in there, so...
Why wasn't he using that Batcave to begin with? Because I'm going to be honest, man, I like that Batcave more than the one in Batman Begins, if only because it was really different, and they used that version of the Batcave to, show Batman's detective skills, which they completely ignored in this movie after, the first 30 minutes. Why do people keep forgetting that Batman's a detective? He's not just a guy in the bat suit who can punch people really hard and has a gadget, as a utility belt.
I don't know. Yeah, and so he climbs out. It's like, why didn't Bane have guards there to shoot him in case he got out?
Okay, so also,
just
why'd they leave the rope there for all the other criminals just to climb out of? Like, why are these guys down there to begin with? Presumably they're at least dangerous. It is a prison after all.
Yeah.
Why? This movie's stupid. Oh, here's our Scarecrow cameo. Why does this scene exist? Besides just having the Scarecrow cameo. He's not even wearing the mask. Honestly, first time viewing this movie, I forgot that dude was Scarecrow. It wasn't until like the second time around I was catching some of it on a TV that I realized, oh, that's the same actor who plays Scarecrow. They're going for the other cameo thing.
Yeah.
Also, why do they just have a bunch of desks like stacked on on like a little hill thing that he's sitting on? Why?
Yeah, I don't know. It's like this could be cut. This isn't needed.
Did it change aspect ratio again?
Yeah, for some
I
reason.
finally noticed it this time.
Yeah, it's annoying.
You ain't gonna be in Rush Hour.
Also, this is funny. I saw a comment from someone that said, suddenly in between Dark Knight Rises, Chicago turned into New York.
I know, right?
It's so dumb.
I mean, I talked about art direction before, but in reality, the shots of the city we see in this movie is completely different from what we got the last two times.
Yeah. That is kind of true.
Is the movie over yet?
There's like, they're running the city, so I'm just giving up. It's like, okay, fine. But yeah, it's like, I'm so bored. I forgot. I actually thought, at least even though it was bad, it was more interesting in this next part. It's really not. I'm bored. I'm so fucking bored.
We have no one to blame but ourselves. We can stop this at any time. I could turn this off, scrap this commentary, kick you out of the house, and go up my room and masturbate. But we choose to watch this movie instead. I'm being vulgar because I'm bored. I need someone to entertain myself.
Jeez, dude.
Is there nothing else to talk about?
Dude.
Hey, if you want to say something interesting and start a different conversation, be my guest. Otherwise, I'm being as vulgar as I please.
Okay, so I guess I can bring up this flaw now since we're close to it or whatever. So, Batman just gets back into the city despite the fact that they closed everything off.
Because he's Batman.
Yeah, they closed everything off. All the bridges are down and everything. But he just gets back in because he's Batman.
You know what we should have done? We should have watched the Lego Batman movie instead.
Yeah, he just got all the way across the country because he's Batman.
He even got a haircut on the way.
Yeah. He trimmed his beard and got a haircut along the way.
Yeah, why do you trust her after what happened?
So Batman just developed a clean slate so that...
And he somehow did this without access to his equipment. Presumably.
Yeah, it's like he just did it, I guess, before he left, I guess? Or he got kidnapped or whatever? I don't know.
It doesn't make any sense.
So yeah, with no resources or anything, he just makes it halfway across the country and into Gotham, despite the fact that it's closed down. And they're on constant watch. Okay. And then we got this part coming up where, after they get Gordon into court or whatever, they put him out on the ice, and Batman obviously shows up again. Also, yeah, it's like the whole thing was a setup or whatever, I guess, because Talia told them or something. But they don't know, I guess. And again, it's just like, this is fluff and I don't care about it. And it's pointless, and they're only doing it so they get them onto that ice so they could have a cool scene with Batman. Where Batman is like, he comes back. Or whatever. I don't...
Rises again for the third time in this goddamn movie.
Also, does no one surveil that sewer that he's dropping messages into? Also, what's with the acting in this movie? Like,
yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, I was gonna say the acting is noticeably not great. Also, Catwoman just somehow gets them out, convinces them, I guess. Yeah, like somehow Catwoman just convinces them to let them go, I guess.
Because I'm bored. Because my boyfriend's Batman.
And yeah, see, all the parts from the Batcave and the Dark Knight are still there, so it makes sense, I guess. Yeah. See.
I'm trying to see if that's. I wish they opened the gate so I can see if that's actually a different costume from the one he was using at the beginning of the movie.
I think it is. I think that's the suit from Batman Begins, and I think.
Is it?
I guess. Yeah, I guess I was wrong. I guess the one he was using at the beginning was supposed to be from Batman Begins. I guess
it's not. Because I remember the costume for Batman Begins. I remember the cowl specifically. It was a lot closer to the '85 Batman costume than the one you're using. No, I don't think he used it.
Okay, so this is the next stupid thing. So, Batman, he made like a huge bat fire thing on top of the bridge or whatever, and Gordon, lights it. Cool, whatever. But, so, remember? Think this. So, remember the whole reason for them not just igniting the bomb in the first place is because he was holding Batman in that prison on the other side of the world, and
what were you saying, Grant?
Okay, so yeah, he throws batarangs at them and they all get knocked out, sure, whatever. So the whole point of him setting the bomb off immediately was because he wanted to have Batman sit in that prison and torture his soul because, he failed the city or whatever. But then he uses this bad thing.
That son of a bitch just ripped off Daredevil's shtick. That asshole.
Yeah, and so Bane now knows. He knows that Batman is back in the city, and so he can't do what he wanted, which was, torture his soul or whatever. So as soon as he knows that Batman escaped and is here in Gotham, why doesn't he set off the bomb right now? Can you answer that question, or is it dumb?
Because he's Batman?
No, it's fucking retarded. That's why. Oh. God, I hate this movie.
You're the one who wanted to do it.
But see, beforehand, I thought it was just bad. And I didn't actually hate it. God, I didn't think I would hate this movie after seeing it again.
I'm playing Yu-Gi-Oh! On my phone. Just tell me when the movie's over. Wouldn't it be funny if you miscounted and blew up in his hand?
That would be pretty funny.
How did he get that back? Where did it go?
It was always, it stayed in its hiding place.
Which was?
It wasn't. They showed it on one of his buildings or whatever.
Okay, whatever.
And
Batman's totally gonna die, guys.
Batman and Robin. So they found a way to disarm it because magic.
Christian Bale's Batman voice is really starting to slip in this part. Like, maybe after 3 movies, his voice is finally getting sore from doing it.
Also, it's...
Not that there's any reason for him to believe that.
Yeah, exactly.
Besides the fact that she's hot, I guess. Yeah, because because Batman totally risked his life returning back to the city just to save himself in the last minute.
Yeah. I swear, if that's actually what he did, then this movie would be even worse.
No, that reminds me of... Have you ever played Batman Arkham City? Answer my question, damn it.
I've played all the Arkham games.
Okay, so... I haven't played Arkham City yet, but I remember watching this one clip where there's this one part where you can play as Catwoman if you got the DLC. It is during this scene where Batman is captured, and as Catwoman you can choose either to save Batman or just leave with a bunch of money. And if you can pick it's Catwoman, just leave Gotham City and have her just say "fuck it" and just end the game early doing that. That's what that reminds me of.
Yeah, it's like Batman is like the stealthy, works in the shadows guy, so why didn't he do this attack the night before? Like, Batman is supposed to be a stealthy, works in the shadows kind of guy, but here he's just walking around in plain broad daylight.
Bang! Movie over. They should all be fucking dead. Yeah, Batman.
Yeah, so he says open fire, but watch this. So out of nowhere, he just comes in, destroys the tanks. It's like, how did they not see him before that? How did he? That's not
because he's Batman.
It's a fucking
because he's Batman.
I never realized.
No, Batman.
I just realized that fucking helicopter is as huge as fuck. How did he not make a shit ton of noise coming up?
Bat teleportation device, Grant. Bat teleportation
and
device.
How did they not notice? I hate this movie.
So like it more than Incredibles 2? I think we finally broke him, guys. I think he's finally
helicopter was just in silent mode.
Bat stealth camouflage, Grant. Bat stealth camouflage.
And yeah, Batman's just walking around in the middle of a huge army in broad daylight. Yeah, and how the fuck did he just get stronger?
Bat steroids, I guess? Or maybe he just threw on a bunch of bat anti-Bane repellent.
Yeah, Oh, that dialogue is bad. It's like...
Does Batman actually say I'm Batman in these movies? I don't think he ever does.
No.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, it was the Ron truck.
How many spare bat tanks did Batman have but never used? That's like the third one. And also, remember when those were supposed to be like prototypes? But they made multiple of the prototype, but it was never produced for military... Why are there so many damn bat tanks?
I don't know. Cool, they're saving the orphans.
Not the orphans! God, the fight choreography sucks in this movie.
Oh god, yeah. The action in The Dark Knight was such an improvement, and this is a huge step back.
Remember that interesting fight where Joker sent a bunch of dogs on Batman? Something like that's never been done before in these kind of movies. Or remember that scene in Batman Begins
the best action stuff is the truck chase. That truck chase is great.
Remember the scene in Batman Begins when he and Ra's are having that duel in the temple, and Batman tricks Ra's by cutting everyone's shoulder to disguise himself, and that's how he catches Ra's off guard? Mm-hmm. Where's any of that shit?
Yep.
Trained by master assassins, guys. These two people who are brawling like a bunch of drunk dudes at a bar who've only seen fight scenes in movies was trained by Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, I forgot how much the fight choreography just
I'm
sucks
seeing this
ass.
and all I hear is the Punch-Out theme. Dun, 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 dun,
oh,
dun,
here
dun.
we come. Quite possibly the dumbest scene in the movie. And it completely ruins Bane's character.
Because it robs him of his entire initiative.
It robs any and all agency he once had as a character and as a bad guy. It's like, nope, he's just doing it for...
Yeah, how...
He's just the bitch to order around for this little girl.
But that line's not Batman. I mean, yeah, I know there's a whole thing with Ra's, but still, that's not a line Batman would do. Ugh.
Yeah, why would he just repeat what Bane says to him? It's like he's a bad guy.
Batman doesn't like killing people. He doesn't like watching people die.
Yeah. It's her.
Also, I just realized something earlier. Just a few moments ago, Batman handed her a shotgun. But instead of blowing Batman's brains out right then and there, she just chooses to stab him. And did they not learn the first time they tried to do the whole let Batman suffer thing? It almost bit them in the ass.
I don't think he did.
No, he did. Right as seen Bane walked into that room. You're right. Yeah,
you're
but
right.
now it's gone. The gun is just gone.
Yeah. And then Bane's conclusion is weak, not just because of this, but he just gets shot by Catwoman.
I think it's kind of funny how he messes with Bane's mask for some damn reason.
See?
Whatever.
She brought people back for vengeance for Bane, but they already had done their work to Bane, so they took him into the League of Shadows. See?
But that doesn't work in this context because Joker's more of a
It
monster
reminded
than
him
Bane
of the place that he left his wife to die in.
Why
and
did
that's
Ross
why
do that?
And that's why he excommunicated him or whatever.
Why did Ross drop his wife into a prison pit with his pregnant daughter?
I don't know.
You don't know! You don't know!
I don't know why Roz would do that, no.
Ross was spinning that entire thing and Batman begins looking for an heir to lead his army of killer ninjas when he had a fucking wife and expecting a child on the way, but is like, nope, just yeet him into a fucking prison cell. That makes no goddamn sense, because I want Bruce Wayne. What the fuck is this movie?
It's dumb, that's what it is.
Christopher Nolan really didn't give a shit, did he?
No, he was done. He didn't care at all. And honestly, I can't blame him.
I can blame him a little bit.
It's the slow knife. Ugh, it's such a corny line.
That's such a cliche too. I thought this trilogy was above this. This movie, in terms of writing quality, is not that much better than Batman and Robin, and I mean
it's
that.
not much better than BVS.
I haven't actually seen that movie, so I can't make that comparison, but I believe you. No, yeah, this is very much don't kill him because Martha situation. Just fucking kill him already.
Yeah. It's like, I want him to feel the heat and souls of 3 billion people he failed. Also, Batman was stabbed in the side gut and he somehow survives.
Yeah, he just stops bleeding after we see him again.
Yeah, it's like, how is
Bat
he not...
anti-bleeding repellent, of course! He's a fucking genius! Because he's Batman!
Also, yeah, these cops are retards because, like, the bomb is going off in 11 minutes.
And he's trying to save fucking
orphans, you retards. It's like, it's not like the city has much time left anyways. Yeah, it's like the bomb's going off regardless. It's got, like, 11 minutes left. So just open it so you can save a few kids. Seriously, you retard. It's just like, oh no, the police captain guy was killed.
You mean the police officers who
have
had no development in this movie?
I cared so much about this guy who wasn't introduced until this movie.
Remember how well the police characters were?
Yeah, and they just get shot by Catwoman.
And you just saw right there, that was the shotgun I was talking about.
Yeah, see? How did she not make any noise coming out? How did he not notice her roll up? It's so fucking annoying that these things just magically teleport from nothing.
Bad teleportation device, Grant. Bad teleportation device.
Oh my god. I hate this. It's so anticlimactic. Also, why does she switch to the truck? Why? So she could die from the bomb. Cool. But, yeah, it's like, you're in an armored tank. Why? Why do you need to be where the bomb is? Why? These guys are so stupid. Do these cops have no agency either? This movie is so stupid.
I wonder what the weather's going to be like
tomorrow.
Let's see.
Why did I like this movie? I'm genuinely wondering, why did I used to like this movie?
Let's see here. Tomorrow is supposed to be about 72 degrees low with 90 degrees high. Little chance of rain tomorrow, but that should be fine. Did I leave the oven on?
This movie's so bad. Also, how is Batman missing those tank shots? Are they just doing nothing to the bat? Wait a minute, the bat cycle can destroy the tank? What? What? What?
Do you want to know how I got these scars? My father was a drinker. And he drank a lot because he was watching Dark Knight Rises. He stuck the blade into my mouth.
Oh yeah, and Batman's just no longer bleeding either. He got stabbed in the abdomen by a knife. And he just magically healed himself.
Why so serious, Grant? Why so serious?
Thank you, Zach. Oh, jeez. I'm sorry, I know a bazooka destroyed his tank in the first movie, but it's just like it's really...
It didn't really destroy it. It just more like knocked it out of commission.
Yeah, and then it destroyed...
He set it to self-destruct when he activated the bat cycle.
Yeah. Because it was damaged to the point where he couldn't use it.
Yeah. I mean, presumably it could be repaired later, but he didn't want anyone using it.
And then the bat cycle can just destroy it. Also, why did she drive to the right like that and just let herself fall into the fucking... what is it? The intersection or whatever. Also, how did Gordon survive that?
Because he's Batman? Oh yeah! Are you okay? I didn't expect that to be so funny from you. Okay, I know I'm really late, but like for people who watch this video more than once, take a shot every time I say because he's Batman. You will think you have 3 ears, 2 eyes, and
take a shot every time I say this movie is fucking stupid or I hate this movie.
You will die of alcohol poisoning.
Yeah. This death scene is awful too. This is like a perfect example of terrible acting. You'll see in a minute.
It's like she only had one take to do it.
What the fuck was that?
That was a representation of me about to fall asleep after watching this movie.
That was like a perfect example of bad acting. This is also really stupid when he just tells Gordon, he's like, put a jacket on a kid. I'm Batman.
Are you okay?
Watch this. I mean...
I don't even know what he said. He was mumbling through that line.
He was referencing the time, you'll see it in a minute, they show it. He was talking about, that part. And for the fucking dumb audience, he's just like...
Oh yeah, bro,
it's like, why... Yeah, it's
that makes sense.
Why do you need to say it out loud?
And he says it so nonchalant, but oh yeah, Batman's Bruce Wayne, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That explains a lot.
And, oh man, we're gonna get to this in a minute, but he does not...
Yeah, there's so much about this scene that's wrong.
Yeah. You're gonna be shocked, you guys, but he does not die. Batman does not die in this movie.
Anti-radioactive explosion repellent.
Because I'm Batman.
And it explodes right as he drives above the bus. Right there, boom! And everyone's dead.
I mean, could have just done this from the beginning instead of fighting Bane in the middle of the city.
I know, right?
And this is what you were gonna do.
And again, I'm no physicist, but even from like this distance, even if the explosion wouldn't kill him, don't you think the radioactivity afterwards still would have affected the city?
That's the other thing, yeah.
Like if
let's just pretend a minute the fact that he fixed the autopilot makes sense. Let's just pretend that it makes sense. It doesn't make any sense at all that he was able to fix the autopilot or whatever, but let's just say for a minute that it was. It makes no fucking sense that he was able to escape the blast of a radioactive bomb in 5 seconds!
Not only that, not even just Batman, the entire city, like everyone in this city, even if they're all burning in nuclear fire, they're all dying of cancer within a year.
Every single one of them. Because the radius of a nuclear bomb is like hundreds of miles.
Yeah.
So Batman didn't save shit.
I mean, I don't have a problem with that, but...
I mean, that's just my thing with like anyone using a nuclear device in the first place. People don't realize the most deadly part of the bomb isn't necessarily the explosion. It's the radioactive fallout afterwards that kills more people. Because it lasts for years, and it just kills so many people.
I mean, I don't have a problem with that. It's just that the fact that he was able to actually fix the autopilot just because he's Bruce Wayne.
Bad teleportation device, Grant. I've been saying this entire damn movie. He
was just able to create... He was able to fix the autopilot, and then he was able to...
Wow, Bruce did a real shitty job of keeping his parents' tombstones clean.
Poor Alfred. Yeah, and also he somehow escaped the blast radius of a nuclear bomb in the span of 5 seconds.
The entire shit city should be fucking radioactive.
No, it's not. I don't care about that. I'm saying Bruce Wayne, Batman, escaped the blast radius of a nuclear bomb in 5 seconds. Even if he ejected out of the autopilot, he should be fucking dead. He should not have been able to escape that.
Do you think Christopher Nolan has that statue in his house?
I don't know.
I bet he does. I would.
Nolan doesn't like this movie. I guarantee you. You know how
that's a cool ass statue.
You know how Sam Raimi even hates Spider-Man 3.
Right.
I think that's what Christopher Nolan thinks of this movie.
He doesn't even like it, and he fucking made it.
Yeah. Well, Sam Raimi doesn't like Spider-Man 3.
Right.
And he made it. But Nolan didn't want to make this movie, it's obvious. And it's like, oh, isn't that nice?
I mean, it is. It's just...
it is, but it's like just unnecessary plot subplot.
Well, here we find out.
Robin!
But he doesn't even say it himself. Fixed? How the hell did they fix?
He just said software patch 6 months ago. He said, check the ID on the patch.
Are they in the Batwing right now? The one that Batman used?
Yeah.
Shouldn't that be fucking destroyed because it was right on top of a nuclear bomb?
I guess that was the software.
No, that was the fucking plane he was in. They're sitting in the... That wasn't even a nuclear bomb then!
Maybe that was just the prototype.
That makes no fucking sense.
I know it makes no fucking sense. I know it makes no fucking sense, dude. Trust me. Yeah, and this whole thing with Robin coming into the Batcave, it's like I couldn't care less.
Also, why didn't Bruce close up that part of the Batcave so no one else could stumble in it? Like, even if he's not Batman anymore,
because he wanted to leave it for Robin. Fucking. It's so dumb how he was able to plan that too, and it's like, oh yay, they fixed the Bat thing.
But they didn't even use it in the movie.
It's just supposed to be a thing where it's like, oh, they had to shatter it in the last movie.
I hate when movies do that. Set up for a sequel that will never exist because it's the trilogy and it's over.
I think Warner Bros. Wants to leave the door open, I guess.
For more money.
Yeah.
Dark Knight 4, The Quest for More Money.
Oh my god, they actually do that. And yeah, Bruce Wayne's still alive because he's Batman. And Robin's gonna take over. Yay. That was horseshit.
So I have to say, Garrett, I'm really excited for the announcement of the sequel from Spider-Man PS4. I'm glad it's about time that Miles Morales got his own video game. I can't wait to see what they're going to do with it.
I'm excited too. What were we just talking about? The Dark Knight
I
Rises?
don't know. I think I was tired for the last 2 hours and 45 minutes.
We were talking about the Dark Knight Rises.
We were?
I guess.
What time is it? What day is it? Who are you? How are you getting my house?
That's actually holy shit! It's like
It's 6:15.
damn. That is a long movie.
So, any final words before we end our suffering and do something better with our lives?
Nope, that's the end of the trilogy. Have a good night, ladies and gentlemen.
You got nothing?
I got nothing.
Alright, I guess I'll have to say something. So yeah, I didn't remember a lot of this movie, and now I don't. And after tomorrow, I think I still won't remember most of this movie. I don't know what they were smoking to make this movie so goddamn long, especially when Nolan had like very little interest of it after Heath Ledger's passing, which is understandable. So that's almost 3 hours of my life I'm not getting back. So thanks for that, Grant.
You're welcome.
I should make you do Batman and Robin next.
Oh boy.
Just for payback for making me sit through this.
We agreed on this trilogy.
Yeah, I'm blaming you.
I didn't make you do shit.
Yes, but I blame you anyways because I'm a petty motherfucker.
Okay.
Nah, I don't know what we're doing next, but I'm taking a break from Batman for a while.
Yeah.
Alright. Well,
at least The Dark Knight's still a masterpiece.
Yeah, anyway, at least that's one good thing we say. This isn't like a Star Wars sequel issue where the product actually like has an impact on what came before.
Shit, man. I'm actually changing that to a 2 out of 10. Holy shit.
He's doing it right now.
I'm doing it right now.
After he gets off Pornhub. What, did you think he was actually watching the entire movie? No, fuck that.
Shut up, you piece of shit.
Hey, I'm just thankful you kept it in your pants the entire time.
You're a fucking...
Yes, I am.
You're an asshole.
Well, next time we'll watch a good movie and it'll hopefully be less vulgar.
Yeah.
Alright, have a good night, everyone. Goodbye.
Get home safe. You want to know how I got these scars?
I'm still going, Grant. I'm not done yet.